HIPAA test results. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at different lab results, test results, vitals, information like that, and common ways to present that within a HIPAA portal, HIPAA e-commerce, just overall HIPAA experience. And we're going to dive in and look at not only the user experience, but we're also going to talk about some of the back office integrations and what's possible behind the scenes. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so in this first example, we're taking a look at a grid view that the patient can go and sort and filter on based on their test results. And they can go and view a detail view and then see specific nuances of their lab and what came back in the lab results. Now, this is really interesting because this particular capability allows us to present to the user very detailed information that they're going to want to see as soon as it's available. And we can take advantage of back office integrations to EMR, EHR, lab systems, pharmacy systems, and the ability to leverage FHIR, HL7v2, HL7v3, other API formats that are specific to the medical field, as well as just general API formats that we can deliver on. This is really interesting because the customer can then download the report, close the report, view next steps from the report, ultimately be able to get details from their lab or their kit that they sent in. We also have a lot of other teams that we work with, a lot of other clients who have a requirement to be able to produce different lab results with branded portals. So they do partnerships, they do different kind of tests and kind of test groups. And we have the ability to spin up portals for these different kind of tests that are going on and basically produce thousands and thousands of lab tests that get pumped back into the user-specific view where they can see what their test results were. This is really helpful to be able to kind of streamline and create a self-service capability so that the end user can go in, see their lab results, see their test results, find out their vitals and their information, and do it in a very HIPAA secure way. Okay, so another example is a mobile application. And for this particular mobile application, we're looking at a view that shows the different lab results that this particular patient has. And we can drill in and see the particular test. And then we can go in and take a look at their vitals, take a look at all of the information about that particular patient. And then we can also kind of drill into each of the vitals that were taken at an appointment. So in this particular case, we're looking at essentially a in-person visit, and we're accumulating the data from the EMR system back into this mobile application that the end user can view and get into the details on. Now, again, we're presenting this in a HIPAA secure way, and we're allowing the user to be able to self-service. And this is really the name of the game with the test results. We want to allow them to multi-factor authenticate, make sure they're securely and actually the right person. They're securely accessing everything. They're the right person. They have the right authentication and authorization or roles to see this data. And the other thing that we can do with the test results is we can actually show a patient's doctor or a patient's support group. We can show information for the results to those folks as well. So let's take a look at an example of that too. Okay, so in this particular case, the user is looking at their information that they got back from their device. So this is a device that's showing their test results, and it's using Bluetooth or USB, depending on the format that they've selected, to get the data back into the portal system. And it's just using a cloud-based data storage that's HIPAA secure, and they're going in, they're viewing their data, they're able to see kind of their different vitals and the different readings, etc. But they can also, as you can see here, they can specify their primary healthcare provider and their meter information in this case. They can update that information so they can make changes to it and select from basically a pre-built list that is associated with that user. And then the other thing that's really interesting is they can actually provide a connection request to a doctor. So the doctor can then accept their request and then monitor and do data sharing with that patient. It's also possible for the user to share with a support group. So if they're trying to reduce their glucose readings and get their diabetes under control, then it's possible for them to go ahead and bring in a support team who can monitor their results with them. So this could be a loved one, a friend, or a support person who will have access as well. So this is really interesting to kind of give that user more traction with their lab results. So they're not just getting access to the information, but they're actually able to share with people that they want to have access. And you can see that we're kind of allowing the user to say what type of user they are. And then here would be a view of someone who's in the support network looking at their supported person that they're trying to help out. Maybe they're providing accountability and encouragement, and they're actually able to see some of that data. So this is a really big opportunity for a lot of healthcare providers to be able to give these type of options to the end user. So we can integrate with back office labs, pharmacies, we can integrate with doctors' offices, EMR, EHR systems, we can integrate with Bluetooth devices, and ultimately the list is truly endless of what we can and have the ability to do and have done in the past. And so we encourage you, if you're interested in this, if you're looking at getting lab results, if you're doing, bulk testing or testing with different groups, medical groups, going through trials, that kind of a thing, we really have a lot of experience with implementing and executing on this on the software side and being able to deliver a self-service portal and a self-service e-commerce process with workflows and triggers that help drive these kind of lab results and test results to the users in a self-service way. Okay, we hope that was helpful. And next, we're going to kind of talk about ways that you can engage us if you're interested to get complimentary support with your upcoming HIPAA lab test and lab results project. Okay, so we hope that you've enjoyed the video that we just covered. And ultimately, one of the big takeaways that we want to encourage you to consider is that we do offer a complimentary discovery process and a lot of additional resources that are complementary related to this topic. One of the biggest things about the Clarity software and the overall Clarity process is we really like to build long-term relationships. In fact, we really see this as an opportunity to help even if there isn't a good fit for us to directly work together. We really care about this industry and what's going on in the space. And we encourage you to take advantage of our complementary resources as well as our complementary discovery and strategy sessions that we can offer. If we can help, we certainly encourage you to dig in with us and ask for support as you approach any of your upcoming projects. And with that said, if you would help us as well to get the word out about this valuable service and these valuable resources, we just ask that you hit the like button and subscribe if you're watching this online. And we will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.